Hello, have you recently noticed a statement on your Shutterstock contributor account saying that the AI generative images are prohibited on Shutterstock? And also, if you do submit AI generative images, Shutterstock will actually disable your account. Why for you as a stock photographer this ban from Shutterstock is important? It is important because many people right now are making tons of money on AI generative content, and they submit stock photos, write books, do many things, come up with business ideas, and they make money off it. Let's take a look at how Shutterstock actually justified this ban. They made 2 points. The first point is that only the contributor who created the image is allowed to submit this content on Shutterstock platform. They reference their contributor agreement as a basis for this. The second point is that they want the contributors to get fair compensation whenever AI generative content is sold on Shutterstock or elsewhere. They also say that they, Shutterstock, personally compensated contributors for their AI generative content, and therefore they are the only ones who are entitled and can sell AI generative images on Shutterstock. My take on this is that this is somewhat arbitrary and this is a blanket ban that will likely change in the future for Shutterstock. Let's try to understand from the Shutterstock's point of view why this blanket ban may make sense. Well, first, AI generative content right now is sort of like a gray area. It's a wild west. Like many people right now do whatever they want with it. They write books, they create images, they do all sorts of things, create business ideas, of course, automate things with AI, and they make money. And so there are lots of not clear-cut questions and answers, like who owns what, are there copyright issues. So maybe Shutterstock just wants to avoid any potential future lawsuits and just shield themselves from that liability. But the counter to that is that, as I said, many people are doing this already. Like, I watched just recently a YouTube video where a guy somewhere, I think in Canada, he writes books using AI generative models, and then he proofreads them, he inserts some images, and voila, he sells them and he makes like hundreds of $1,000s a month or something like that. Also, there are people who are creating comics and then they create AI imagery illustration for their comics and then they sell them. And so, of course, they are also earning money. But again, like, this question is, how can they do that while Shutterstock doesn't allow its contributors to take advantage of this? Like, is it that such a gray area that just blanket ban and nobody can do this except for, of course, Shutterstock because of XYZ? But the biggest counterpoint to Shutterstock's blanket ban is what Adobe Stock is doing. Adobe Stock is actually allowing its contributors to submit AI generative content. You must actually market, though, that it's AI generative and follow certain guidelines. But other than that, you can submit and sell and profit from AI generative on Adobe Stock. And you actually earn money based on the payment schedule that is applicable to any other image or illustration. So this leads me to this point, is that this blanket ban from Shutterstock looks like hypocritical, especially given that Adobe Stock allows its contributors to sell AI imagery on their platform. Also, another scenario, they're saying that it's not clear who owns the copyrights to the images that were used to train the model to generate the AI imagery. But consider this scenario. What if I used my own images to train the AI model and generate images, AI images? Like, I have with my wife over 40,000 images, and we can train something and get some good results. Perhaps, I don't know, I haven't tried. But yet, even if I have AI images from this portfolio that I have, I still cannot submit them and sell on Shutterstock. So do you see the problem with this blanket ban? This leads me to the problem with a fair compensation point that Shutterstock is using to justify this blanket ban. Consider this. They're saying, the Shutterstock, that they compensated contributors for the images that were used in training the AI model. Also, they are saying that they will compensate contributors whenever in the future AI images will be licensed and sold. So the second point is actually pretty good. So it's not like they trained and that's it. We won't get any compensation. We will be compensated if our images were used to train an AI image that will be later sold to the clients. But the problem with this is this. They established a contributor fund to compensate. And I have no idea how this actually payments are made for each image that was used in an AI model, training AI model. Second, I have no idea how much I will be paid in the future when this AI image is licensed. Like, I know that for my own images on Shutterstock, I get paid from 15 to 40%, depending on the threshold, of course. But for AI images, it's not clear. I bet that Shutterstock will try to compensate as little as possible to get the most money out of AI images. Like right now, for instance, it's 15% mean, so maybe it's gonna be 15%. So what kind of conclusions can we draw from all this? Well, first, Shutterstock is trying to be overly cautious and shield itself from the liability in the future if copyright issues or lawsuits will be coming up. Second, my take is that, in my opinion, they are depriving contributors from earning potentially from AI images if they make those AI images themselves. Also, if they're not allowing AI imagery on their platform, contributors will go elsewhere with their AI images. For instance, Adobe. Since Adobe allows it, the contributors will just go over there, and it's going to be some sort of race from here. Also, another problem that I see is that many buyers will just not buy images, especially if they can go to AI models and just make a query and generate AI images themselves. So why should they go to Shutterstock and pay money for it if they can get a good enough image for their article or I don't know what that is, book. So that's a problem as well. Overall, I think this whole thing likely is gonna change because probably Shutterstock is taking like a wait-and-see approach just to see where copyrights, maybe laws will come up, since like right now it's a wild west, but later maybe it's gonna change. So maybe when things become more certain from the legal point, maybe Shutterstock will allow contributors to submit and sell AI-generated images. That'll be it for this video. I hope you got something out of it and you learned something useful today. Please give this video a like and subscribe to our channel for more content for stock photographers, traveling and other. Thank you for watching.